Hello Flosstube, my name is Laura and welcome to my channel Loves Rubber Stamps and Needlecrafts. Today is, I think, January 3rd of 2025. I've kind of lost track of my days because I've been battling the stomach flu the last week. Still not 100%, but I think the worst is behind me at this point, so that is good. So I did originally plan to film my WIP parade on December 31st, but I was super sick, so I wasn't able to. So we are filming it today. So this will be my end of the year, end of 2024 WIP parade, and the projects that I'll be working on this coming year. So this year, or I guess not this year now since it's 2025, but in 2024 I had 9 finishes, and I ended the year with 39 cross stitch WIPs. So we will be going through those today. All except for one, because one is a secret stitch and it's for my mom and she does watch my channel and I want it to be a surprise. So I won't share that one, but as soon as I get it finished and fully finished and she receives it as her gift, then I will share it on the channel so you can see it. Before I get started with my WIP parade, I did want to announce the winners from my Flossmas videos. I was supposed to do this on the 31st as well, so I do appreciate everybody that watched my Flossmas videos and commented on the giveaways, and I really appreciate your patience while I was sick. It was awful. I ended up having to go to the ER once because I got so dehydrated from everything that I needed some IV fluids. So and my doctor, when I was at the ER, he said that he had had what I had about 2 weeks before me, and he said that he was absolutely miserable and slept like the first 30 hours out of 36 that he had it. So it was not a good time, and I do not recommend it. If at all possible, you can steer clear of it. So we'll go ahead and I'll announce the winners first from my Flossmas. So the first giveaway that I had was this Candlelit Noel kit. And the winner for that was Always Be Yourself, and then a dash number 6. So Always Be Yourself dash number 6. You won the Dimensions Gold Petite Kit for Candlelit Noel. And I will put my email in the drop box below and that more information. So be sure to send me an email and that with the project that you won. This I will have to mail to you, so you'll have to give me your mailing address. And if obviously your YouTube name is going to be different than your real name, let me know what your YouTube name is too, so I make sure to get the right prize to the right person. So all right, and then the next giveaway, I'm trying to figure out where to put this stuff because I don't have a lot of room. I had to film upstairs at my kitchen table because after our basement flooded this summer, I used to have all my WIPs in my craft room, but I brought them all upstairs in case we ever had issues again. I didn't want my WIPs down there, so I didn't want to drag everything downstairs. So we're upstairs at my dining room table. So I apologize. The doggies are here. That's Teddy sleeping on the couch back there. Ruger's behind me in the recliner, so you may see him pop up, but when they hear noises, they like to bark. So hopefully that won't happen. And my son is here, but he is asleep. I tried to warn him I was going to be filming, but he wouldn't answer me, so. All right, the next giveaway that I had was the Hello Santa book from Teresa. And the winner for this one was Primitive Stitcher 385, Suzette. So congratulations, Suzette. I'm super excited that you won this. I've met Suzette several times at retreats. She's a super sweet lady. And in fact, at the fall retreat that we just went to in Amana, I got to sit right next to her, and I even got her small that she stitched for the exchange. So yay, congratulations, Suzette. So just be sure to send me your mailing address and I'll get that out to you. And the next giveaway that I had was for this Diana Markham sampler leaflet. I ended up having these two charts in I have another Diana Markham sampler, folk art sampler book that has several of her samplers, and these two are both in it. So the winner for that one, this one, is Paula P1237. Again, Paula P1237. So congratulations to you. Go ahead and send me an email with your mailing address and I'll get that out to you. And oop, I want to move these, I think. So then, in addition to those two giveaways, I didn't announce this during my Flossmas videos. I wanted it to kind of be a surprise, but I took everybody that commented on my videos for the entire 25 days and I put them in a drawing, and I drew two $20 gift certificates to 123 Stitch. I decided to do that, one, to say thank you to everybody that watched and commented. There were several people that commented almost every day, so that was greatly appreciated. And also as a way to thank you for your patience with the delay in this video with me being sick. So I drew, like I said, two names, and every comment, each time they commented, their name went in the drawing. So the first winner is Jennifer Hannah 4424. So Jennifer Hannah 4424, you are the winner of a $20 gift certificate from 123 Stitch. And the second winner is Lori Holmes 8705. Again, Lori is Lori, Holmes, Holmes 8705. You're the other winner of the $20 gift certificate. And I will need your email address that you want that gift certificate to go to, because 123 Stitch will email you directly with the gift certificate. So congratulations to all the winners. And like I said, I do appreciate everybody that tuned in each day and left comments, and it was a lot of fun. That was my first time doing Flossmas, and yeah, it was a really good time. So hopefully I'll be able to do it again this year. So all right, now we will go ahead and go to my finishes. I'll start with my finishes for the year. Like I mentioned, I had 9 finishes. Most of them are pretty small, which is typical because I like really big projects. 2 of them I do not have here because they were stitched for my retreat giveaways, so I'll have to insert pictures. So we will go ahead and start with a fan favorite, probably my favorite finish that I've ever done. And yes, I haven't sent it to Jill Rentzel yet because I'm a chicken. It is my Redbirds by Marie Barber that I stitched in honor of my grandma and grandpa. So let me, so here it is. And this was my very first finish of 2024. And that design was in the Just Cross Stitch November-December issue of 2011. And I stitched it 2/2 on 28 count. Is it 28 count? I believe it's 28 count lamb's wool Jovelin. So my plan is to have this one framed by Jill Wentzler, but I've been too chicken to actually put it in the mail, which is why I still have it, because every time I think about doing it, then I'm like, oh, it's not a good time of year because the post office is really busy. I was hoping that maybe we do go to Las Vegas sometimes, which then we drive right through where Jill Wentzler's studio would be. So I was maybe hoping that our next Vegas trip, which I'm not sure when that would be, or if we ever go again, we could just drive it and I'd drop it off on my way instead of mailing it, because I'm really chicken to mail it in the mail. So I'm sure it'll be fine, but I have to gather my courage first. So until then, it waits. Okay. That was my only like super giant finish of the year. So, and these aren't going to be in any order. They're just kind of in the order. I have stuff stacked everywhere around me. So I'm just gonna kind of grab and show you as I go. The next one I have is a ornament that I stitched for my brother, Dustin. This one was on a scrap of, I think it's either 28 or 32 count, like a lamb's wool linen. I got in like a scrap pack, and it's a Lizzie Kate design called Plaid Tidings. And I was a bad sister, and I didn't get my Christmas ornaments other than my sister Leah's fully finished for Christmas this year. So that is a goal for this coming year, to get the ones I've got stitched fully finished so I can give them as gifts. So I picked my own colors for this one. I tried to stay true to the pattern, so I just picked things that were close, but that's that one. The next one is Little House Needleworks design called Milady's Strawberries. I guess I don't need to show you the pattern because I'm going to show you the finish. This one I stitched on a 36 count Ren, and sorry, none of these are ironed either, because I don't iron until I'm ready to fully finish. So this one is on a 36 count Ren by Pictures Plus. And again, not all of these are the called for colors. Some of them are, and some of them are from my stash, because I had to swap a few because they weren't showing up on this fabric. But the ones I picked, I did try to stay true to the original design because I really love that. And I still have this in my WIP pile because Diane had a freebie. I'll just kind of flash it. It was called... It was a freebie pattern from 2003 called Sweet Little Berries, and I think it's at her, maybe it was on her blog. I can't remember where I got it, but I thought this design goes really well with Milady's Strawberries, so I wanted to stitch that using the same colors that I did for this one, and make it into like a little pillow to display with My Lady's Strawberries. I'm thinking Milady's Strawberries I might make into like a flat fold, I think, and then have a little pillow to sit next to it. This is in my Strawberries project bag from Goose Designs. My next finish is from the Blue Flower, and it was Silver Needle Squirrels. And this one is stitched on, how are you? 36 count Sandcastle from Color and Cotton. And here we go. And this one, I used some of the called for colors, but most of them are just colors I had in my stash that I tried to, again, try to stay true to the pattern as much as possible and kind of match them up. So this is supposed to be made into a pillow, and then you put like a little button in the middle. So that's my plan. And I do saw this in my WIPs too, because I want to stitch, I have this other design called Stitching Squirrels, and I want to stitch, it's pretty much the same squirrel, but these ones have little hoops, and I want to stitch one of these and make it into a little scissor fob. So using the same colors that I have for that. So still in my WIPs until I get that one done, even though I haven't started it yet. And this one is in my Dot Dot Goose bag that we got at Primitive Gatherings Retreat as a gift from Denise. All right. My next one was a Mill Hill kit called Moonlit Owl. And Ruby here. That is my finish. So my goal is one of these years, when I get enough Halloween designs, ornaments stitched, to have a Halloween tree. So that's one for that. Just need to fully finish it. This is in a bag that my mom got because I love sloths. I like my spirit animal. And she had found these at like Hobby Lobby, little, but they're good for like Mill Hill kit size projects. Okay. And then my next one that I have is my temperature tree from Stitch and Mommy. And this was stitched on a 40 count River Rock from Color and Cotton. It's super wrinkly. And I stitched this for our 25th wedding anniversary, which was 2 years ago, because we've been married 27 years. So 2 years ago, I used the high temperatures from 2 years ago. And February 14th is our wedding anniversary, and so I made that leaf have some blending filament, so it's a little sparkly. That's how mine turned out. I'll probably end up framing this one once I find a frame. I was thinking like a white frame. Sorry, I forgot to show you the bag. So the bag that's in currently is my bag that I got from Olivia, Pumpkin Hollow Quilts. She has an Etsy store, and I bought one of her bags. And then the last finish that I have with me is from Christmas Ornaments 2006 magazine. And this one is the one that I stitched for my sister Lindsay that I didn't get fully finished. It's Santa's Unexpected Gift. And I stitched it on a scrap of 28 count Sage Summer Jovelin. And this one I did change a few colors. I changed the color of the dragon to be purples because that was Lindsay's favorite color. The dragon was supposed to be greens. And then I also added, I stitched the dragon and Santa's skin 1/1. And I added Mill Hill beads for the berries in his hair. And his cape fur is stitched with fuzzy stuff, so it's got some sparkle, which you can kind of see. And that design is by Dragon Dreams. And Lindsay loves dragons, so I love how that one turned out. I just have to fully finish it, like most everything. Okay, and now I'll have to insert the pictures of my last two finishes, because like I said, I don't have them with me. The first one was the one I stitched for the spring retreat, Farm Girl Gathering spring retreat in Amana. And it was Blooming Circle in pink. It was on an unknown scrap. And it was in the Just Cross Stitch April of 2022 issue of the magazine. And I'll insert a picture of my finish here. And then the other finish that I had was called Christmas Card by Crochet to Go-Go. And this is the one that I did for the fall retreat, Smalls Exchange. And I stitched this on 36 count opalescent linen called One More Reproduction from Bee Stitch Me. And I finished it into a tart pan. And I'll insert a picture of that finish here. So those are my 9 finishes, and now we'll go ahead and go through my WIPs. These are not going to be any particular order. They're just going to be however they're stacked up. I'm not going to insert pictures of where I was at the beginning of the year last year, just because I don't have time to go back through my other video and take screenshots. I'll tell you if I've worked on them. There's going to be several that I haven't even touched this year, so which seems to be a theme, which I'm going to talk about my stitching plans at the end. So we'll go ahead and just get going. So the first one I have is in this box here, because this was a kit that we got when we went to Primitive Gatherings, and Teresa was the designer. And the project that this is so ridiculous that it's not finished. Literally will take me like maybe an hour. So we started stitching this at retreat, and it is called In God We Trust Zipper Pull. And it was a Primitive Gatherings retreat exclusive. And it's 2-sided. And you guys, seriously, I just need to spend an hour, if that, and finish this thing, because I have it all stitched, and literally this is what I have left. So here's the front. It's teeny tiny. Here's the back, all stitched. And literally what I'm doing is doing the sides, and this is how much I have left. I have basically have started the 3rd side, and I've gotten about 1/4 of the way down. I need to come down here and then stuff it, and then sew this shut, and then add the little hanger. That's it. But this is so tiny that I need to use my magnifier in order to do this, which I have to go down to my craft room and do. So that's why it's just sitting here, not done yet, because I need to just go down, take it downstairs and finish it. So hopefully soon, I mean, literally it won't take much, and that will be a finish. So that is WIP number 1. But I have never done that whip stitching through your, like your backs, you're supposed to back stitch with a single thread around the design, and then you kind of whip stitch through it to join it. I've never done that before, and so my stitches are pretty tight, so it's a little difficult for me to see it without a magnifier. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to set stuff out of the way. Okay, so I'm gonna do that because that is over here. All right, we'll just kind of start going through my piles. So the first one I'm going to share is in this bag, project bag, that my sister Lindsay made for me. She made embroidered a sunflower on the back. It's beautiful. Her bags are amazing. And she does sell her bags, and she does do Flosstube too. So her channel name is Midwest Stitcher, and she is here on Flosstube if you want to check her channel out. And she has a Facebook group also called Midwest Stitcher that she sells her project bags on. She does, in her Flosstube videos, she shares the bags that she made and the ones that will be for sale. So her bags are amazing. And the first one I have for you is Raise the Roof, and it's called Sweet Tooth, and that is the project. And this one I did pick my own threads from Color and Cotton in kind of a mix for my stash. There might be some that are called for, but most of them I think I picked myself. And here is where I'm at. And I did work on this one this year. I'm just working on filling in the pumpkin. And this fabric is a 28 count hand dyed by myself, Monaco. I dyed it to look like a chalkboard. This little needle minder is from Mad for Minders on Etsy. And that is where I'm at. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to be putting my projects in zipping, so if that bothers you, I apologize in advance. But if I don't, I'm gonna have a gigantic mess, bigger than I already have. Okay. Next up is one that I did work on as well. This is one of my favorite WIPs. I'm stitching this one in honor of my grandpa, using all the called for colors. It is by Plum Street Samplers, called Always Remember. And my grandpa Barber, when he was alive, he was a Marine, served in the Marine Corps, and he would always buy the paper poppies at the store when they would sell them, and he'd always buy them for all of us women in his family, like for my grandma, for me, my mom, my sisters. He would buy us all one every single year. So these poppies remind me of those paper poppies that he used to give us. Okay, and here is where I'm at. Just working on the house. I still have to add, I'm going to add Mill Hill beads for the eagle eyes. Started a couple of the poppies on the side. This fabric is, what is it? I'm a bad floss tuber today because I didn't make a list first. I know it's from, oh there, Laura. It is from Under the Sea Fabrics, and it's called, I think it's Under the Sea. It is a 32 counts linen. Yeah, Under the Sea Fabrics was one of the fabrics of the month because I'm in their club. 32 count Belfast linen in Incoming Storm. And I like how it was like a pretty blue with the gray, some grays in it. That's where I'm at on that one. And this project bag is, it's hard to see, so I don't remember who made it, but it's got like Lori, I don't know if that's Lori Holt, but it's a quilty bag, and it's just plain on the back. Okay, the next one I have is in this bag by Pinky Promises store on Etsy. I did add this zipper pull that I got at the fall retreat in Amana. This one is my Scary sampler from Heartstring Samplery. And not super far in this one, and this one is being stitched on a 32 count Under the Sea fabrics called Prosper Pina, and that's where I'm at. And the reason I've stopped is so this is a 32 count. The instructions on the chart say to stitch it 1/1 on 32 count, so that's what I tried. I normally do 2 strands on 32 count, and at first I didn't think it was too bad, but then when I started getting in these lighter colors, like for the alien head and the little hands down here, it's hard to see, especially if, like from afar. And so I was debating on just switching it to 2/2 before I go any further, which I think I'm going to do. So I don't want to unpick all of this, so I may just go back over it with a thread, and then anything new I stitch I will do with 2 strands. So that's where I'm at on that one. Next is in this project bag from Be Busy Bags on Etsy. And this is what the inside looks like. And this one is Trick or Treat by Lena Lawson Needle Arts. The artwork is by Pascal Moguru. And this one is being stitched on a 28 count cashel linen. It doesn't have a color name. It was the September of 2016 fabric of the month. So I used to be in her club, but she doesn't make fabric anymore. So that is where I'm at. Just have his pants. I have not worked on this one this year. There's a bazillion colors in this and a bazillion color changes. So this one is very slow going. Let me show you, like this is the color list for that little design. It's only 82 by 135. And there's even a bunch of blends too. So constant color change. There's gonna be a ton of back stitch. So it's a very deceiving project. It's not very big, but it's very labor intensive. But it's very cool. So hopefully it'll be worth it when I'm finished. Next up is in my Grinch bag. This one totally doesn't match the project, but I need to, now that I have more project bags, I need to go through and swap them out for ones that make sense. So this is a Grinch bag that I have with a Grinch pull. And I have this, this is a thread bed that my sister Lindsay made. She also makes these. She gave me this as a gift, and hers have 12 spots for bobbins, and then the felt at the top for your thread, and then it has a pocket on the back too. So I have that thrown in here. And this one is from a Stony Creek magazine issue, winter of 2014. And I don't believe I've worked on this one at all. It's so cute. This one makes me a little sad though, just because this little snowman is gonna melt. Gotta find what page he's on. Oh, here he is. So it's Back Again Someday Snowman. And the snowman is so super sweet and so super cute, and just the thought that he's gonna melt away is just kind of sad. Sad to me. I know it's silly, but this is being stitched on a Stony Creek fabric 28 count. I believe it's a Monaco called Summer Clouds. And here's where I'm at. So it's got his cute little face and his scarf. And I did add 2 little beads in his eye, and I added beads for his mouth. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. See him there, but he's very cute. I like stitching on him, but like I said, it's a little sad to think about him melting. Alright, next up is, it's in this Jolly Housewives bag. And this one is in Stony Creek, August of 2007 issue. And this one is, there's so many cute things in here, but this is the one I'm stitching, I believe, Snowman. I have not worked on this one. And I barely have it started. I think I started it for a Stitch Mania one year, and I only stitched on it like a couple times. It's on a 28 count opal. I believe it's a Lugana. That's the back. You don't want to see that. And I'm just working on the border here. This is an opal Lugana. So I pretty much did the border to where there's some design that intercepts the border. So I'll start the second border next time I stitch on it. That one I've seen finished and framed at one of the first retreats that Mom and I went to. My friend Donna and her friend Jayne brought a whole bunch of projects that they'd stitched and had framed, and that was one of them, and it was absolutely gorgeous. So inspired me to get mine started, and then I haven't really worked on it hardly. Okay, next up is Plum Street Samplers The Gather In, and this is what it will look like when it's finished. And I've only worked on this pretty much one time when I started it. And what am I stitching this on? Oh goodness. I have it in here somewhere. exactly sure what the fabric is on this one. And I didn't write it down. So I will insert it here if I can, or if not, I'll make sure to put it in the description box below. I'm pretty sure it's a 36 count of some sort. Here is where we are. I'm thinking it's from Fox and Rabbit and maybe called Hog Bristle, 36 count. If that's wrong, I'll make sure to put it in the description box. But my notes are all on my phone, which is what I'm using to record. So using all the called for floss with that one. This is in a dot dot goose bag. It's pumpkins, and then the inside has pumpkin spice coffees. Okay. Next up is in my beautiful cardinal bag that my friend Donna gifted me at a retreat. She is the She Shack Stitcher here on Flosstube, or Stitching in the She Shack with Donna. Very sweet. Love Donna. And this is in my World of Cross Stitching magazine. There's actually two that I'm doing in here from this magazine. This one, however, is the bear on the cover, called A Cozy Winter's Glow. And this is issue 118. This one I'm stitching on a, I think it's just a 16 count white Aida. And here's where I'm at. So just working on his clothes. I did not work on this year. I think that's the recommended, like a white Aida is just the recommended, fabric. And the other one I'm working on from this magazine is Joan Elliott, and it's the 12 Days of Christmas. I've not worked on this one either. And this one's on my scroll bars, which I may take off when I go to work on it next time and put it on a nerd shoot, just so it's a little easier. But here's where I'm at. Not very far. I just started it for a Stitch Mania, I think, and then it's on a 28 count opal Lugana, just like the Believe Snowman. Just started some of the frame. There's some gold around here that I tried to use for my stash. This really sucks, and I need to rip it out because it starts to shred and it gets almost like a bungee cord. It gets very bouncy and almost like it has elastic in it, and I'm not, like, this gold goes around every single border. I'm not going to fight it for this whole project. It's way too big. So I've got to frog that out and before I continue, and then I'm going to try to use Petite Treasure braid instead. So that's where I'm at with that one. Okay. Next up is one of my full coverages. This one I didn't work on at all this year, and it is a Heaven and Earth design by Katerina Koukiotis, which I'm sure I'm not saying correctly. And this is what it will look like when it's finished. Get my picture here. This one is being stitched on a 25 count white Lugana. Is this one too? Yeah, this one I'm actually stitching 2/1, which is a little bulky for me, but I've got too much done to start over. Here's where I'm at. I've got, I think, 1 full page finish. Oh, here, I think I wrote down. So my percent I've done 8,912 stitches, and I'm 7.23% complete. This one has a ton of Krynic in it, so you might be able to see the sparkle. So it's really pretty, but so this one I'm stitching with 2 strands because this was one of the first Heaven and Earth that I had started. It's not the very first, but I was following their instructions of doing 2 strands on 25 count, and it's just a little bit too bulky for me, but I'm going to continue because there's only like 13 colors in this, so I'm going to live with it. So I have a plan to try to touch more of my full coverages this year, which I'll go through on my plans, but my next one is one that I got as a retreat kit from the Midwest Cross Stitchers, which is now Farm Girl Gatherings. It was it was Live on Little from Plum Street Samplers, which this is out now for anybody to buy. And this is what the pattern looks like. And I'm stitching this on the called for fabric that we got. I think it's 36 count hog bristle from Fox and Rabbit. Just have a tiny start. This is one I need to work on more often. Just have a little bit of a start in the border. So not much. But that's color of the fabric there. It washes out when I get close. I love this one. It's so pretty. Need to get back to stitching that one. I say that a lot probably. This one I have worked on this year. It is in this project bag. It's a little witch. I'm not sure who made it. It's one I got on Etsy. It is from Samplers and Stories, called Herbal Grimoire. And she has an Etsy store, or at least she did when I bought this. The inside of the project bag is like a witch's haunted house scene. Graveyard. Very cool. And here is, this one is being stitched on a 40 count mummy wraps from Ship's Manor. I absolutely love this fabric. It's one of my favorite for Halloween stitching, and that's where I'm at. So I think when I picked this up, I can't remember if I had the whole word herbal done and the little owl. So I think I stitched all the grimoire and just kind of brought down the border. But I'm using a mix of DMC 310 on some of the parts, and then the words I've stitched using Dinky Dyes limited edition silk that was in a my Stitchy box. It was a Stitchy box exclusive in vintage newsprint. So that's what I'm using for some of the words, is the silk. And then I thought about adding maybe some DMC toile in the black and some of the parts to make it sparkly. And DMC, just to make sure I have enough of that silk. I don't want to run out. So the next one I have worked on some this year. I will insert a picture of what it looks like when it's finished because I don't have a printout. It is from Teresa Wentzler and it's called The Fortunate Traveler. And this one is being stitched on the called for fabric, which is a 28 count cream cashel linen. And here is where I'm at currently. So I've been working on the border, the outside border. And I've pretty much got it halfway stitched. The only thing that is still lacking in the border, this first border, is I have to go back and do the second round of these, the basket weave, and then I still have to add the beads to it, but I might do the beads last. So that's where I'm at. There's a little bit further. There we go. I love Teresa Wentzler designs. I remember back in the 90s when I was still, so I started stitching when my daughter was about 2. So she was born in 92. So I started stitching in about 94. And I was a brand new, stitcher, and we didn't have a lot of money. So a lot of my patterns and a lot of my stash and, threads, everything, I used to get at garage sales. And we went to this one garage sale, and I used to collect cherished teddies. And I remember they had a huge stack of cross stitch books, and I was just starting to get into cross stitching. And on the top of this huge pile was cherished teddy booklets. And in addition to that, they had this plastic kind of container of all threads on bobbins. And I don't remember what they were asking for it, but it was more money than we could afford. And I remember I just kept going up to this and wanted it so bad because I was just starting out and didn't have a stash. It was cherished teddies that I collected. All this thread was amazing. So I finally told my husband that I really wanted it, and he was like, just ask them if they'll take, $20 for all of it. So I got brave. I went and asked them, and they said yes, they would take $20 for all of it. And I just remember that whole day I was just smiling the entire time. The whole day I felt like I won the lottery. And it was almost a full set of DMC that I ended up scoring for $20. I still have some of the threads today that I still use. But back in those days, Teresa Wentzler was one of those artists that I never thought I'd get to the level where I could stitch her design. She was like what you hoped you could become someday, have the skill to stitch her designs. And I have to say that now that I'm stitching them, there's still just 1x at a time. I mean, you do have to use a lot of thread, a lot of blends and stuff, but don't be intimidated by it. I was intimidated for a long time, and it's just 1x at a time, just like anything else. So for a beautiful result. So that was my story on that. So tangent. My next project is, I have worked on this one this year. It is Winter, Chalk Art Winter. This is in a Just Cross Stitch magazine. I'm not sure which issue. But it's from collaboration between Priscilla Blain from Stitching with the Housewives and Kathy Haberman from Hands On Design. And it was February of 2016 issue, Just Cross Stitch magazine. And this is in my Dot Dot Goose bag that's got sparkly snowflakes and gnomes. And this one is being stitched on a 32 count slate from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And here's where I'm at. Forgive my thread here, but so since you saw it last, I filled in the N and I brought this border down and started the snowman. And I'm using all the called for floss. Super cute. All right, and then this is one of my full coverages. So this one is my Koukiotis, my biggest one. Koukiotis Storyteller by Amy Stewart, charted by Heaven and Earth Design. The version I'm stitching is a supersize max color version. And I have 7 pages complete on this one. And let's see. I have 37,701 stitches stitched. And that puts me at 5.51% complete. Sorry, this is like covered in. Rugi gets his hair everywhere. So here is where I'm at on this one. So I have 6 full pages across the top, and then I have a 7th page here. And I've started on the next to go across this way before I have to move the Q-stamp. This is being stitched on 28 count white Lugana, 1 thread over 1 square. Or 1 over 1 full cross. That's also what it's called. Okay. My next one is one that I've worked on this year too. It's Paula Vaughan's Quilt for All Seasons book. And the one I'm stitching is this one here. And this is being stitched on a, I believe this is a 32 count cream Belfast, which is the called for, I think. And I have worked on one this year. Here's where I'm at. So when I started, I think I had this, like kind of this bottom third done of the quilt. And so I stitched the rest of the quilt, and now I can work on all the other stuff. I still need to back stitch the quilt blocks. There's a lot of back stitching in there. But I'm just so glad to have those blocks done because it is chock full of fractional stitches. Like that whole, this whole border is all fractionals. Like every leaf has fractionals. It was a lot. I think now that I have that part done, and once I get the back stitching done in that quilt, this project should go pretty fast because most of the background is half stitch. So very pretty. All right, my next one is the one I'm stitching for my mom. It's another one of my full coverages. This one is called Dog Double Shelf by Randall Spangler, charted by Heaven and Earth Design. And this one I am 32,442. I have 32,442 stitches done, which puts me at 10.34%. And this is in this project bag that by X Stitch Fancies on Etsy. My friend Susan Coates made it. And here is where I currently am. So this one's a lot of fun to work on. So need to keep trying to make good progress on it so my mom can have it one of these days before she has to haunt me about it. That one's fun just because you're not stuck in endless background before you get to some fun stuff. So, all right, one more stack here and then we'll be done. Let's see, next step. This one is my Spring ABCs from Little House Needleworks. This one I'm stitching on a 28 count coffee tea dyed Monaco that I did myself. And I don't think I've worked on this one this year. If I did, it was very little. Here's where I'm at. So pretty far. So I'll just kind of start at the top. I did add some pink, which is the ladybug. So that's not called for. Did change maybe one other floss. I think I'm using some hickory sticks in here that it doesn't call for, but that's where I'm at currently. So I'm just working on this motif to finish this section, and then I can finish the rest of it. I'm going to add Mill Hill beads for the bunny eyes. I'm done. I have stitched the winter one, and I still need to stitch the summer and the autumn. So I want to do this whole series. This is in a So Much to Love bag that's hot cocoa. Next is I don't have a, I don't think I have this printed out, do I? No, I'll have to insert a picture of what it will look like finished. This is the Lola Crow cross stitch Deadly Aquarium stitch along. And not very far. Obviously, I didn't keep up. What am I stitching this one? Here. Oh, I know it's a 40 count. Oh, 40 count seraphim called Jack Frost. And I think it goes this way. I'm just working on the frame. This fabric's washing out a little bit. It's more green, which I thought looked like. Let's see if I can get it to. It's wanting to wash out. That's kind of more true to color there. It's kind of a gray-green color, which I thought would be good for a dangerous aquarium. Kind of a grayish-green color. I want to get back to that because I want to get the frame done so I can start stitching on some of the little critters. And this one is in a So Much to Love bag, so it has these hilarious kitties watching a scary movie, eating popcorn. And what better, I thought it was kind of cute because the Deadly Aquarium, the little fish will eat you. So they're all petrified, the little kitties. So So that's fun. And then on the inside is this cute little paw prints. All right, next is in another So Much to Love bag, and it's got sparkly penguins. And this one is it's from the Keepsake 2021 cross stitch calendar. And the one I'm stitching is this one, called Celebrate the Season. It's artwork by Janet Stever, and it was charted by Barbara Anna Designs. And this is being stitched on a 28 count Gothic from Picture This Plus. And I just have some of his scarf. I love this fabric. It's one of my favorite fabrics. So it almost looks like, I think, night sky with some Aurora Borealis colors in it. Good for like pretty winter nights, I think. Love that one. Need to get back to it. Which I think we say about all of our WIPs when we do WIP parades. This one I know I have not worked on. This one is hands-on design collaboration with Priscilla Blain from Stitching with the Housewives, called Fresh Eggs Farm. Chalk on the Farm series. And I'm stitching the big one first. And this is in a project bag that I won in a raffle at a Farm Girl Gatherings retreat, which is a farm one. And this is on a, is it 28 or 32? It's a 32 count Belfast that I dyed myself to look like a chalkboard. It's a Belfast linen. And this is all I have. It's the start of a gate and one chicken. And funny story, when I did a WIP parade one time, my mom seen my needle minder here, which is a little piece of bacon and a little egg sledding. She's like, oh, you have to keep that part of the design. It's like, what are you talking about? She thought this was, I'd stitched it. It was part of the design. That was funny. But nope, that's my needle minder, Mom. I started that for a Stitch Mania, so it's pretty much like a one-day stitch, and then haven't really got to work on it too much since then. Okay, next up is in this bag. It gets a little bit smashed because it's pretty big. It's got these pretty cats on it. And this one is in my cross stitch collection book, issue 158, and it's this one here. Let me show you a better picture. It's called Bird Watching. And it's an Anchor exclusive design. And this one is being stitched on a 28 count Vanilla Cream Lugana from Color and Cotton. And here's where I'm at. So this isn't the called for fabric, but it was pretty close because the way this stitch is up, the fabric kind of plays a part in the design, so I wanted it to be pretty close. So I love that birdie, so pretty. And this needle minder I got from my friend Christine. She's Calico Whimsy here on Flosstube. She, I won one of her giveaways and she sent me that. Very nice. This one is also in a bag that was made by my friend Susan Coates. Dragons. And I don't have a printout of this one. It is my Dark Queen of the Sea from Autumn Lane Stitchery. I'll insert a picture of what she'll look like roughly when she's finished here. And I'm not going to take this out of the Q-snap. I do have her hand done. You just can't see her hand. But here's where I'm at. So far, I changed her hair to look like seaweed. I did change her lips and her eye color. This is being stitched on a 32 count. Oh my goodness. What are you? 32 count. Oh, here we go. Into the Mystic Opal Belfast linen from Color Cascade Fabrics. And she actually stopped dyeing fabric for a while, but she is back dyeing fabrics and her store is back open. So her fabrics are gorgeous. She is in Australia though, so just be aware of that. But I loved it because it was similar to the called for fabric, but this one had more black in it. And it had teals up here, and then it kind of goes to purples down here, which I thought since she's a dark queen, she needed some black in the fabric too, so I love it. Need to get back to that one too. That one's so fun to stitch. And I haven't stitched on her at all this year. My sister Lindsay stitched the Dark Queen of the Earth and has hers done. She started hers way after I started mine. But she's one of those that she's able to stick to one project pretty much and work on it till it's done. I'm not that way, so she gets some pretty neat big finishes, where me it takes years. This is another one I don't have a printout for, so I'll have to insert a picture of what it will look like finished. It is the Durene Jones Fantasy Cell from Lakeside Needlecrafts. So this is what it'll look like finished. I didn't work on this year. This is where I'm at on mine. So I have all the little borders. This is being stitched on 32 count. Is it 32? 32 count fairy dance, opal fairy dance, I think. Yeah, 32 count opal fairy dance from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. It's an opal. So I have all the rings. I got the border done on page 1. And then it's my Pooping Unicorn needle minder. And then I have 3 characters. And I'm personalizing these kind of as I go. So the first one I did was the Pegasus, and I added satins for the rainbow and fuzzy stuff in the mane. I added some Krynic and fuzzy stuff in the wings. And then the Wizard, I added some Moselle floss for the leaves, and I used Moselle silks for his robe, and Whisper for his beard and mustache to make it fuzzy. And then the witch down here, this block was a little bit different. I found this cauldron that Durene Jones had in another, like a magazine. And I took out some of the pumpkins that were along here and added the cauldron. And this is a glow-in-the-dark Krynic. I did turkey work for her hair, so it's fuzzy, which I'd never done before. And added a spider button and this little cat button. Added some Krynic to the background. So I plan on kind of personalizing each of the little characters as I go. I just think that'll make it fun. But I'm making myself stitch the border on the page before I can do any of the characters on the page, because otherwise that border is very labor intensive and it's a beast. And if I don't do that, I will not stitch that border. It's too much. So that's in a gnome project bag. Okay. This next one was a gift from my mom, and I haven't stitched on this one this year. It's my Jesus by Vervaco kit. And I'm stitching it just on the kit Ada, which is a 14 count, kind of a cream or ivory. And here's where I'm at. Just working on his face. I started this one when COVID first came out in 2020, so thought when needed some reassurance that things will be fine, let's stitch on my Jesus. It's in this really cute project bag, which I don't know where I got this one either. Same one that made the gnome bag that I just had, but I love all the winter critters. This is another one I'd like to get finished. Next up is one of my full coverages. This is my oldest WIP. This is the one that when I came back to stitching in 2015 was my very first project. So I took about a 8-year break of I didn't stitch at all. And when I came back to cross stitching in September of 2015, yeah. This was the very first project I picked to get started, and of course it's a heaven and earth. This is in a project bag made by my friend Susan Coates, Stitch Fancies on Instagram. Red-winged blackbirds is one of my favorite birds. I live in central Iowa, and every summer you see these guys perched on every little mile marker on the highways. Wouldn't be summer in Iowa if you didn't see these guys. Very pretty birds. I guess the female ones are just a plain brown and kind of boring, but the males have the pretty red and yellow. So this one is my New Girl 3 by Winnel, charted by Heaven and Earth Design, and this is what it will look like finished. And this one is, I have 38,606 stitches complete. I'm at 14.01%. And here's where I'm at. So I'm trying to do as much of her hair as I can because that's what the majority of the piece is going to be. Right over here is where her eye starts. So I'm getting close to that part of it. So I'm trying to work some more hair before I get to the fun stuff. Next up is another one of my full coverages, which I didn't get a stitch on this one all this year, which is a bummer because this one is really fun to stitch on. I really love the design. And I don't think I have this one here, so let me pull it up on my pattern keeper. Hopefully this works. It is Dreamer by Nadia Strelkina. That's what it'll look like when it's finished. Mine is the Max Colors version, which I requested Heaven and Earth chart for this one because I wanted it as close to the original artwork as I can. And this one I have 13,134 stitches complete, and I'm at 3.39%. This is where I'm at. So just working in that tree. All of my other, besides my angel, all of my full coverage are all stitched 28 count 1/1 on white Lugana. I think I've been forgetting to say the fabric for those, but they're all on 28 count Lugana. But I love this one. The detail in the tree is so awesome with the fog. Like you can see, I love how it kind of looks like it crosses the front of the tree where it's pale and then dark again. It's going to be just stunning. This one is full of confetti. It's lots of color changes. So once I get a thread on, I kind of follow the chart and follow it around. That's why there's so many random stitches. Just to keep from changing floss so much, I try to finish out the color I have. So I kind of follow the chart where it goes. But I just love the detail in it. It's just beautiful. I want to get back to stitching that one. I've missed working on it. This is in a bag made by Beth B. She's been to our retreats before. Of course, this doesn't match, but it's Teresa Koukiotis fabric, which is adorable. But it was big enough to hold my project on this bigger Q snap, so. Okay, this one is also one of my favorite WIPs. I'm going to say that about everything. Of course they're my favorites, or I wouldn't have started them, right? This one I have worked on this year. It's one that I like to work on at retreat sometimes, because I've been working on the border. It's Plum Street. It's called Harvest Keeper. And this one is being stitched on a 40 count sampler gold from Color and Cotton. And here is where I'm at. So I've been just plugging away at this border. Is that the top? Yeah. So I've got all the framework in, and now I just have to finish the leaves and acorns, which I've almost got done for the border, and then I get to start on the fun stuff. There. So this fabric washes out. I mean, it is a really pretty warm sampler gold. Let's see if I can get it to quit washing out a little bit. You can see it. That's more true to color there. So it's a real pretty warm goldy brown. So I think it'll look really good with and this one is another bag from my friend Susan Coates, X Stitch Fancies, and look, red-winged blackbirds, my favorite. Susan's bags are really nice and big, so they hold those big Q snaps too, which I love. Okay, almost done. This is in a big Garon tote bag envelope style. I bought this bag from Jen's Stitching Niche. It's another one of my full coverages. I don't have it printed out. It is from Charting Creations, and it's by Sheena Pike, called Daydream Tigers. And this is the large version that I'm stitching. So I'll insert a picture of what it will look like finished here. Actually, no, I won't. I'm going to show you on my pattern keeper, so I don't have to insert pictures. So this is what it will look like when it's finished. Tigers are my absolute favorite animal, besides a duck-billed platypus. So when I saw this, it was instant needed. Kind of reminds me of Lisa Frank art when, if you're my age, that was all the rage when I was in middle school. So this one is the one that I have the least amount. Or no, I guess it's not. This one is Tigers, 5,512 stitches complete, and puts me at 1.03%. So it's working up. I'm starting on that tiger behind the leaves there. This one is a 28 count easy grid fabric. I don't use the grids really, so it really doesn't matter to me if they're on there or not. It's just what I had that fit, so thought I'd try it. And I just realized that I have a project that I forgot to grab because it's downstairs in my craft room. It's my Stitch With Me project. So I may have to pause to go grab that when we're done here. So now I just have the ones on the scroll frames left. This first one is one that I worked on during Flossmas. It's my daughter's Christmas stocking. I don't have a printout of it. It is by Donna Gelsinger, called Shih Tzu for Christmas. This one is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and I will insert a picture of what, no, I will not. Quit saying that, Laura. I will pull it up on my pattern keeper. So this one looks like, will look like this when it's finished. And this, we had a dog, Bella, when she was a puppy. She looked exactly like that. She's passed away now. She passed away last year of, no, 2 years ago now. She had cancer, so that's sad. This one is being stitched on a 20 count white Aida, and I have done 4,007 stitches, and I'm at 5.86% complete. So you're just starting to see those candles come in. So I stitched on this during Flossmas to see how far I could get. I stitched on it the 1st through the 15th. Made pretty good progress. I think when I started stitching on it, I was only at like 1 point something percent, and I got to 5.86, so that was good. The next one I have is my gold collection Candamar kit called Eat My Dust. I didn't get to work on this one this year. And this one, I'm just stitching it on the kit fabric, which I think is like a 14, is it 14? 14 count, like cream Aida maybe. And this one is on a school frame, so like that's the upper corner. And I started in the middle with his nose and did some of his fur around here, and then I worked my way up to go to the corner. Wasn't sure how much border they gave you, so I didn't want to run. Just start in the upper corner. So that's where I'm at with that one. This one is completely full coverage. It's all full crosses. There's no half stitch in it at all, not even in that background. My next one is my Mirabilia Raven Queen. I haven't stitched on this one either this year. This one is on a 32 count Nocturne by Sunny Dyes Fabric, but they don't make fabrics anymore. Here's where I'm at. So It has a moon on the fabric and I wanted that tower to be centered, so I started with that. And that's all I've got done so far. Next up is from my Jayne Netley Mayhew Cross Stitch Safari book. Jayne Netley Mayhew is one of my favorite wildlife artists. And I'm actually stitching two projects out of here so far. The first one is called Elephants, Giants of the Plains. I didn't work on this one either. This one's being stitched on a 28 count Stony Creek fabric called Summer Sky. I believe it's a Monaco. And here's where I'm at. The neat thing about her designs is there's really no back stitch, so it's all with her wonderful, amazing use of color to get that realistic look to it. The next one I'm stitching from this book is called Leopard, Queen of Cats. And this one is, I started in the bottom left corner, which I never do. But I wanted to try to center the design on the fabric because I'm stitching it on this fabric flare. I think it's a 14 count. I think it's called African Sunset. So I didn't work on this year. This is where I'm at in the grass, which is super confetti heavy nightmare. But I wanted to center it so the face is kind of right here, so it's pretty sky, and then the savannah there. You can see all the color changes in there. Ton. Next one I didn't work on either, and this one is by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. It is the Into the Jungle cell. And I just have, this was a limited edition color by Crafty Kitten Designs. It didn't have a name, it was just a monthly fabric of the month. I'm gonna have two little blocks done. I am adding my own floss for the borders, Mo's Sale floss that I had in my stash. That's fun. And my very last one that I have up here, and then I have to pause and go grab that other one because I have it downstairs where I do my Stitch With Me's, and I forgot to grab it. This is my son's stocking that I just finished working on for Flossmas. I stitched on his from December 15th to, or December 16th through the 31st. And unfortunately with my stomach flu, I didn't get a stitch on, there were several days I didn't work on it. So I didn't make quite as good a progress as I hoped, and not quite as much as I did on Alicia's, but here's Austin's stocking, what it will look like finished. It's called Kitten Christmas 2 by Donna Gelsinger from Heaven and Earth Design. And here, oh, stats. So I ended up getting 3,413 stitches on his and ended at 4.47%. His is also being stitched on a 20 count white Aida, and here's where I'm at. So lots of browns. Okay, I'm just gonna pause really quickly so I can go grab my last WIP. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and my last WIP then is the one that I've been using for my Stitch With Me videos. And I don't have a printout, so I'll show you on Pattern Keeper. It's called Quick Stitch Snowflake Wonder by Lisa Victoria, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And this was a freebie on the Heaven and Earth Designs website several years ago. That's what it'll look like when it's finished. It is available as a chart on their site. Super cute. And I'm only working on this during my Stitch With Me's, and I've only made 2 videos so far, so I'm not very far. In fact, we've only done 320 stitches, which puts us at 0.79%. And this is on I think it's a 20 count Ada, but it's like a light pale gray. I'm not sure the color. That's where we're at. So just 2 colors so far. Stitching it 2 over 2 on this 20 count. So the coverage is really nice. All right, and that is all of my WIPs. Except for one, which I can't show you because, like I said, it's my secret stitch, so my mom can't see it. That is it. So now we'll just go ahead and I'll briefly talk about my plans. I don't really have a lot of plans because as much as I love to plan things, I never follow through with them, it seems like. So this year, I'm going to be turning 50 in April. It's hard to believe I'll be 50 already. Time really flies, let me tell you. So I toyed around with different ideas of what I wanted to do this year. I thought about 50 starts for my 50th birthday, but I really didn't want to end up with almost 100 WIPs, you know, because I already have 39 cross-stitch WIPs, and if I added 50 and didn't really finish a whole lot, I mean, that'd be a lot. So I didn't want to have that many. So then I toyed around with doing like Bringo this month, but one thing I've learned about myself as a stitcher is, as much as I love Stitch Mania and I love like Bringo Challenge and things like that, and the planning portion of it, I'm not one of those stitchers that can stitch on a project for like an hour and then change. When I pick a project up, I want to get some good progress. So it's really hard for me to just stitch on something for one day. When I stitch on it, I want to stitch on it for at least a few days and get some noticeable progress. So as much as I love those type of challenges, I'm not very good at them. So I decided not to do that. I did have a rotation last year that worked good for a while, but where I had like some focus, like a large focus WIP and medium and a small, and I was gonna work on those on my days off and keep them in rotation till they were finished. That worked good for a while. But what I've also learned about myself as a stitcher is that when I get bored stitching on a project, and it's one that I have slated that this is what I'm supposed to be working on, and if I don't feel like if that project isn't calling me at that time, I just won't stitch. I won't go pick another project out of all of these. I'll just not stitch, and I'll go like several days without stitching just because I don't feel like working on that project I'm supposed to be working on at that time. So I found that that kind of rotation wasn't working for me either. So with all that being said, I do want to have a little bit of structure for my full coverage because I do have, was it 9 full coverage, and there's, you know, my super size I want to keep getting really good progress on. My mom's dogs I want to get really good progress on so she can hopefully have it one day. So the only thing I'm really going to kind of plan stitching wise are going to be my full coverages. So I have a rotating shift at work. There's 2 weeks during the month I work 6 days in a row, and there's 2 weeks during the month I work 5 days in a row. So it alternates 6, and I have some days off, and then 5, then back to 6 and 5. So what I thought is my first 6-day work week, I'm going to work on my King Coda Storyteller. Just see how far I get during that week. I'm just going to stitch on it. My other 6-day work week, that work week, I'll stitch on the dogs, and just keep those in rotation. So every 6-day work week, I'll alternate 1 day or 1 week I'll work on my King Coda. The second 6th day, I'll work on the dogs. And then for my 2 5-day work weeks, those evenings, when I get home from work and have stitching time, the first 5-day work week, I'm going to pick probably my oldest full coverage, and then each 5-day work week, I'm going to do a different one, because I only stitched on half of my full coverages, didn't even get touched this year. So the goal with this is to try to touch more of my full coverage. I may not get like a full % of progress, but I'll touch them more often, hopefully this way, and that progress will add up. The other thing I'm going to do is on all of my days off, so I'll either have 3 days off in a row or 2 days off in a row. When it's my days off, I'm going to leave that as free choice. I'm not going to have any focus whips or anything. So I'm just going to stitch what's calling to me on my days off, and just see how far I get on what's calling to me. I am hoping that by doing that, I won't have so many days that I go without stitching, because I'm just not feeling the pieces I'm supposed to be working on. I'm going to stitch on what is calling to me. So hopefully that'll spur me to get more projects touched during the year, and more progress, because I'm stitching on the things that I feel like stitching on. The other thing is, on those days off, if I feel like having a new start, I'm just going to start something. I've got a ton of amazing projects kitted up. I have a gazillion beautiful cross stitch kits. And if one of those are calling to me stronger than something I have started, I'm just going to start it. I'm not going to try to worry so much about how many WIPs I have or starts I have this year. I'm just going to kind of stitch what I feel like. So life is short, and this is our hobby. It's supposed to be fun. I don't want to have a ginormous WIP list or WIP count, but if I end up with one, I guess I do. But I'm just going to enjoy stitching on what I feel like while I can and while I'm here. And that's kind of my stitching plans for 2025. I may participate in a few challenges here and there, but like I said, I love the idea of the challenge groups and the challenges. I'm just not very good at following through with them, because something really has to be calling to me in order for me to stitch on it. Otherwise, I just don't stitch, and I'm not going to get anything done if I'm not stitching. So anyway, that's all I have for you. If you are a new viewer, I appreciate you taking the time to watch this WIP parade. I hope you found some projects that you can be inspired by, and hopefully you like seeing what I'm doing, and will subscribe and hit that notification bell so you do know when I upload. I am going to try really hard to get either, at the very least, monthly updates. I'm hoping to maybe do every 2 weeks an update, just so they're a little bit shorter. I don't have as much stuff to try to remember. And I'm going to try really hard to do more Stitch With Me videos, so we can make some progress on that cute little dragon. So those are my Flosstube goals. So at least every month video, hopefully, but I'm really gonna shoot for maybe every 2 weeks going forward this year. We'll see how it goes. That's all I have for you. I want to thank all of my returning subscribers for coming back each and every time. I really appreciate you guys, and the comments that you leave and the support of my channel. So I hope you have a very safe and healthy and happy new year, and I hope this year the frog stays away and you get lots of stitching time in and enjoy this hobby that we all love. So that's all I have for you. Happy stitching, everybody. Until next time, bye.